Look around you. What do you see? Cars, probably. They're everywhere, zipping through city streets, cruising down highways, even parked in driveways. We take them for granted now, but imagine a world without cars. Hard, isn't it? Before the roar of engines and the smell of gasoline, getting around was a much slower, smellier affair. Horses, carriages, and a lot of walking. That was the reality for most people. But all that changed, thanks to a few brave pioneers and their crazy contraptions. That's where our story begins, with a German engineer named Carl Benz and his wacky idea for a horseless carriage. Little did he know he was about to change the world forever. Carl Benz wasn't just some grease monkey tinkering in his shed. This guy was a visionary, an engineer with gasoline in his veins and a head full of crazy ideas. He dreamt of a future where horses were for racing, not transport, and he was determined to make it happen. Benz wasn't alone. Lots of folks were trying to build these motorized carriages, but Benz, he was different. He wasn't just throwing an engine onto a wagon and hoping for the best. He was designing a whole new machine from the ground up. And in 1886, after years of toil and countless setbacks, he did it. He unveiled the world's first practical automobile, the Benz Patent Motor Wagon. It was a rickety three-wheeled thing, but it moved under its own power, and that was all that mattered. Now, this wasn't some sleek, aerodynamic beast. The Benz Patent Motor Wagon was, to put it mildly, a bit odd-looking. 3 wheels, a tiller instead of a steering wheel, and an engine that sounded like a lawnmower on steroids. But under that bizarre exterior beat the heart of a revolution. It had a single-cylinder 4-stroke engine producing a whopping, well, not really, 0.75 horsepower. Top speed, a blistering 10 miles per hour. It was basic, it was noisy, it was slow, but it worked. And more importantly, it sparked the imaginations of inventors and dreamers around the world. The automobile age had begun. Section 4. Bertha Benz, the original road tripper. But here's the thing about inventions. They don't mean a thing if nobody believes in them. And frankly, people thought the motor wagon was a joke. That is, until Bertha Benz, Carl's wife, stepped in. Bertha was no damsel in distress. She was a shrewd businesswoman and a firm believer in her husband's vision. So one morning in 1888, she did something incredibly daring. Without telling Carl, she took the motor wagon and with her 2 sons set off on a 66-mile journey. This wasn't just a Sunday drive, it was a publicity stunt for the ages. Bertha drove the motor wagon over hills, through towns, and even fixed mechanical problems along the way, proving that this horseless carriage could actually handle the open road. Bertha's journey was a turning point. It silenced the doubters, captured the public's imagination, and cemented the automobile's place in history. Section 5. From 3 wheels to 4, the automobile takes shape. The success of the Benz Patent Motor Wagon and Bertha's gutsy road trip set off a flurry of innovation. Inventors and engineers, inspired by what Benz had achieved, started tinkering and experimenting. The next few decades were a whirlwind of progress. Engines got bigger and more powerful, designs became more sophisticated, and cars started to resemble the vehicles we know today. 4 wheels replaced 3, steering wheels replaced tillers, and the horse-drawn carriage slowly faded into memory. The automobile industry was born, and with it, a whole new era of transportation. No longer were people bound by the limitations of horse-drawn transport. The open road beckoned, and the world was about to get a whole lot smaller. Section 6. A legacy etched in steel and gasoline. Today, over a century later, the legacy of the Benz Patent Motor Wagon is all around us. It's in the millions of cars on the roads, in the sprawling factories where they're built, and in the very fabric of modern society. The car has revolutionized transportation, transformed industries, and reshaped the way we live, work, and play. And it all started with Carl Benz's crazy dream and that rickety 3-wheeled contraption. So next time you're stuck in traffic, spare a thought for Carl and Bertha Benz. They might not have invented the traffic jam, but they certainly paved the way for it. But more importantly, they gave us the freedom of the open road. And for that, We should be eternally grateful.